Hello friends, my name's Amanda and today we are diving into your must-have winter wardrobe essentials that will never go out of style. Winter is the perfect season to not only embrace those classic essentials, but also pieces that are going to keep you warm and be practical for day-to-day wear, but really elevate your style. Whether you're a fan of cozy knits or more of a sophisticated style, or if you're wondering what are the must-have accessories for the winter season, this is going to be your go-to guide for those classic essentials that every woman needs in her wardrobe. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future style tips, and let's jump into today's video. So your winter wardrobe tends to be probably the most expensive wardrobe out of all of the 4 seasons, just because it is the most important season to really look into the fabric quality that you're getting. So you're making sure that you're getting pieces that are going to keep you warm. And because they tend to be a little bit more expensive, you may be spending a little bit more money, it's important to know what are the key pieces for your wardrobe. So I'm excited to dive into that today. And because we are sticking to classic pieces that don't go out of style, for the most part, I would recommend sticking to a neutral color palette with these core pieces. Of course, you can add in pops of color if that really speaks to your wardrobe. And I'll kind of go through where I personally like to add in more pops of color, because I know winter can be a little blah and some people like to add in some color and excitement into their wardrobe. But for the most part in these key pieces, I would recommend sticking to neutral colors. The very first must-have is, of course, a great neutral coat. Now, depending on your budget, I would recommend to have a really nice, more sophisticated coat. Something like a wrap style is my personal favorite. If you have a more casual style, but you're not wanting something as casual as a puffer, you could also go for more of a parka style coat. So whatever fits your personal style, having a nice go-to coat that's going to keep you warm is probably the most important key component to your winter wardrobe. When shopping for a winter coat, definitely check out the fabric composition, and some things you want to look for are whether or not they have natural fibers such as wool or a cashmere blend or even cotton, because those are going to keep you much warmer than synthetic blends like nylon and polyester. You can also check and see if the coat will have a lining. Those do tend to be a little bit warmer, but if you're getting a really good quality coat, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to keep you warm if it doesn't have a lining. Sometimes brands will put in a really cheap lining to kind of make up for the lack of warmth in the cheaper fabrics. So I have some go-to coats of mine that have been personal favorites year after year. I feel very chic in wrap coats, so those are my personal favorite recommendations. If you are wondering what color to go for, I would say my personal favorite is a great classic camel coat. I mentioned this as well in my fall wardrobe essentials, which can kind of go hand in hand with your winter wardrobe. So if you have missed that, I will link it for you down below. You can't go wrong with a classic coat, a camel coat. If you tend to wear a lot of blacks in your wardrobe, of course, black would work. You can also just do a simple cinch at the waistline to bring it in. You can leave it long and let the ties kind of hang down if you're not into bows, or of course you can do a bow as well. So a little tip, if you want to tie a good bow, you want to have one side that is slightly longer. So this side is a little bit longer. This is going to be the loop that I start first. And then because this is the longer piece, that's the one that you can loop around and then pull through. Obviously, it does not have to be perfect, but you can just sort of play with it to make it even. If you want these pieces to be longer or shorter, you can just pull them and kind of give the bow some shape. You can also go for something a little more modern. If you don't want to do a full bow, then you just do the loop and then you pull one side completely through. So you just have that one loop and then pull it to cinch it. And that's another way to style the coat as well. And then if you have it in your budget, another coat that I would recommend is just a very casual, everyday puffer style coat. I wear these often for walks outside, running errands, just when I'm wearing athleisure or even traveling. These are just gonna be a go-to coat for those very casual outings, and they will definitely keep you warm. You can go for a shorter version of a puffer or even a thinner version of a puffer if you live in a more mild winter, and if you live up north or somewhere Midwest. Wow, it's super cold actually right now when I'm filming this. Actually here it's 11 degrees, which is not normal, but everywhere is pretty much freezing right now. And if that's the case, I would stick with a longer, either mid-thigh or even full length puffer coat to keep you super warm. Another coat I wear and reach for often is a cream wrap coat as well, because I do really love light and airy colors all year round. So whatever speaks to your personal style, of course, is what option you should go for, but I will link some beautiful options for you down below. A little pro tip for you as well, if you're shopping for a winter coat, do keep in mind the layers that you expect to wear underneath. For every day, I do like to have a more fitted, tailored jacket, but it's not always gonna work if you're wearing a thick and bulky sweater. So depending on where you live, if you live somewhere in a lot colder climate, I would recommend at least sizing up in your coat so you have plenty of room in the shoulders to layer thicker sweaters. I feel like here in Georgia, I get away for the most part having a more tailored, slim fitting coat because I don't have to layer as often, but definitely something to keep in mind because depending on how you want to wear your coat, definitely reflects what size you should get. A lot of time too, coats will have belts or things that you can kind of bring in your waistline because you have all of these layers on. It's really nice to be able to bring your shape in a little bit. So that's why I personally love a belted wrap coat. The next must-have winter essential is a good pair of leggings. Not only are these gonna be great for everyday use, I wear leggings every day around the house, but I do also wear them often throughout the winter time, especially if you're going to be around snow or rain or just super cold weather. I find that leggings are just more practical for day to day. For one, they have a close fit along the ankle, so they're not going to get wet in snow. They'll also keep your ankles a little bit warmer since they have a tighter fit as well. For the winter time, depending on where you live, it would be a good idea to look for a fleece-lined option. I love how Spanx finally came out with a fleece-lined version of their faux leather leggings. I have been wearing those a ton this winter season. You can also find some really great fleece-lined leggings as well at all different price points really. So I'll link some affordable or some more investment options for you down below. Another option too, if you have a more feminine style like I do, you can look for a fleece lined tight as well, or go for a wool and cashmere blended tight. Those are definitely gonna keep you warmer. When shopping for tights, the thickness can also have a big impact on how warm it's going to keep you. So typically the more weight that it has or opacity, the warmer that it's going to be. However, sticking with something that is wool will be a little more expensive, but they will definitely keep you much warmer. A little style hack for those of you who love to wear dresses and skirts in the wintertime, like I personally do, a lot of times I will layer these wool tights or even fleece-lined leggings underneath my dresses, especially if you're not even going to see them, such as maxi skirts or maxi dresses. They're going to keep you warm and no one's going to even notice. Also, another little winter hack, maybe I should do a separate video on this, but if I'm going to be wearing let's say a shorter skirt with tights, which I did often on our trip to London and Paris, it wasn't super cold, but it was 40s and 50s with a pretty good wind chill probably, and just overall more dampness, and I was perfectly comfortable just wearing a thinner tight and skirt, but I balanced it out with a longer coat. So that can make a big difference. The camel coat that I love has, almost covers all of my leg, especially if I wear it with a taller boot. So that's another little style hack. If you want to wear shorter silhouettes throughout the wintertime, just balance it out with a longer coat and it will keep your legs warmer. Essential number 4 is a pair of jeans. Now, I will say for me, I actually don't find myself reaching for jeans often, pretty much year round. I love dresses and skirts like I mentioned earlier, but it is good to have a classic go-to jean that you can reach for. I would recommend a either straight leg style or a skinnier style or a slim straight version for everyday wear. I feel like those are the easiest to style with a variety of boots and booties, which is another important component for your winter wardrobe. And I would also stick to either a medium or darker wash, because those you can easily dress up or down, whereas lighter washes tend to be more casual. Another option as well is doing a black jean. Those work great in the winter time. They'll show less dirt if you're out and about in the snow. They can also be dressed up as well. Okay, this next one may not necessarily be a classic. It feels a little weird to include this in a wardrobe essentials, but honestly for me, This is easily a must-have winter essential for me, and that is a very casual matching lounge set. For one, I wear these every day around the house, so you're definitely going to need something comfy and warm to wear around the house, but I also love to wear these for travel days, running errands out and about, and I feel like going with a matching set option definitely looks more elevated than just wearing whatever you have around the house. So if you can just find a nice, matching loungewear sweat pant combo, I feel like that's going to be something that you reach for probably the most out of all of this on the list, other than leggings maybe. I have some that I personally have in my wardrobe and reach for often that I will link below, and if I find any other cute options, I'll also link those too. When it comes to a winter wardrobe, no matter if you want to be polished and chic or more casual and, I don't want to say basic, but just more casual in general, the key to both of those is honestly going to be layering, because that's what's going to keep you warm when you're outside, but you can also have the freedom of removing any layers, because a lot of times when you get inside or when you're driving in the car, it can get toasty since the heat is on. So having layers is really the key to looking chic and also being comfortable throughout the winter season. So the next two are really great layers that I would recommend for every winter wardrobe. The first one would be a long sleeve basic top. There's a bunch of options for this. You can go for a turtleneck option, which is kind of trendy right now to layer under sweatshirts and sweaters and things like that to kind of pop through. Or you can go with just a classic comfortable crew neck style, or you probably already have this in your wardrobe, honestly. So whatever long sleeve fitted style you have is going to work perfect for this. But this is a really great base layer. If it's going to be really cold outside, you can layer this under dresses, pretty much anything that you're going to wear, and it's not necessarily going to be seen, but it is a really good key component to keeping you warm. And it's also, of course, a really great basic to wear on its own. You can wear a long sleeve basic bodysuit tucked into jeans with a belt and booties, and it's going to be timeless and still look chic. And these are really great basics that you're going to reach for again and again. The next key layer is a sweater. And again, depending on your budget, you can have a variety of styles here. I feel like the ones I reach for the most are fitted turtlenecks. I really love this brown one that I have right now. I feel like I've been reaching for that a ton in my winter wardrobe. You can go for thicker or thinner sweaters depending on your environment and how cold it's going to be. I have a variety in my wardrobe. You can also have a variety of necklines. I really love turtlenecks just because I feel like they're really chic. And then you can also go for more longer styles if you're wanting to go more casual and pair them with leggings, or you can go with one that fits at the hip for a dressier look and feel. I personally prefer cashmere over wool sweaters. I just find wool is typically pretty uncomfortable, unfortunately, especially in sweaters. I find that it's okay with coats and things like that, but if it has a high percentage of wool, depending on the brand, because there are some brands that do it really well, they blend enough cashmere into it to soften it up. But I just cannot stand the overly textured wool sweaters. You especially want to be mindful of the care instructions for your sweaters to help them last season after season. I do have a helpful blog post on how I wash and care for cashmere, so if you're wanting quick tips on that, I'll link that post for you down below. The key thing with cashmere is just not applying heat to it. So you don't want to dry them. You don't want to use hot water. They're okay to steam because that's like not extended amount of time, but heat can essentially shrink your wool and cashmere pieces. So that's really the key when it comes to that. And then there's also some helpful tools that you can use to help them look their best season after season. Another quick tip for your sweaters and coats, I would definitely recommend getting a fabric shaver if you don't have one already. I have been sharing one since the beginning of my channel, since 2018, and it's still going strong. I got it really cheap on Amazon, and this is going to keep your pieces looking brand new. You can also use it on furniture if you have any pilling issues, but this is a normal process with these types of materials in your wardrobe. Anywhere that there's some added friction, for example, around the arms here, a lot of sweaters and coats can start pilling, and also handbags can cause pilling if it's a repeated kind of frictional area. So having a fabric shaver will quickly get rid of that and keep your pieces looking new. A must-have essential for me, again, I've mentioned this a couple times already, but I do really like dresses and skirts. I just find them easier to style. I feel more myself, and I just tend to like that more than jeans. So for me, I think a must-have is a sweater dress. And depending on where you live, you can go with something with a longer silhouette or a shorter silhouette. I have this white one that I've been wearing a lot recently. If I'm wearing a shorter silhouette, I tend to pair it with tights and boots, and I just feel very chic, but also very comfortable. This outfit is one that I wore recently in London, and it has been one of my favorite outfits from the winter time. I just love the neutral layered look, and again, it was very comfortable. Another sweater style that I reach for often is a cashmere midi dress, and these will keep you very warm and toasty. I think they brought back one of my favorites from last year, so if so, I will link that for you down below. And with these, I love that you can easily be comfortable and wear them around the house if you work from home like I do, but they're also very chic to dress up for dinners out. The next essential is a good pair of winter boots. And again, depending on your personal style or what you reach for day to day, that's gonna be different for everybody. If you have a more casual style, a Chelsea style boot is probably gonna be your most worn boot throughout the winter time. They're comfortable because they have a really thick sole. A lot of times they have good tractional soles as well. And they're also not a super high heel. So this is something that you can reach for often in your wardrobe. I personally love boots and knee-high boots, and I am okay with a little bit of a heel when it comes to boots, but I do tend to stick to a blocked heel if I'm gonna be wearing a heel. Again, I live in Georgia, so we don't have a ton of snow, so that kind of applies to me. But if you live somewhere with a ton of snow, obviously you're gonna need more of a winter snow waterproof style boot. The first must-have winter accessory is a really nice pair of gloves. I personally love the look of a neutral leather glove that has a cashmere lining. I find that they can be dressed up or down. I wear mine honestly for morning walks if I need to, but I also love to wear them with wrap coats when I'm going out for date night and I need to keep my hands warm. I do tend to run on the colder side, and I honestly hate being cold, so I always kind of throw them in my handbag because I never know when I'm gonna need them. If you live somewhere super cold, however, if you're torn between going with gloves or mittens, I would definitely recommend mittens because those are gonna keep your fingers a lot warmer due to more air pocket in the mittens. It's just gonna have less air contact with your fingers. So I actually just bought a pair of mittens because we're going on a ski trip soon. So I'll keep you posted on how warm these end up being. The next must-have winter accessory is a great scarf. So in this category, I would definitely recommend saving up and getting a cashmere scarf. You can find my favorite one on sale often. I'll link it down below. It's actually on sale right now as I'm filming this video. So hopefully it still is when this video goes up. But I honestly reach for this scarf all year long. So cost per wear wise, it is really gonna be a workhorse in your wardrobe, and having that super soft cashmere is just gonna make a big difference in how comfortable it is, but also how warm it's gonna be. I love to travel with my scarf. I've used it as a blanket on airplanes. I've used it when I'm cold inside a restaurant in the summertime when the AC is blasting. I love to drape it over my shoulders if I'm at a wedding and I need to have a layer, but I don't wanna ruin my outfit. And then of course it works in the winter time because you can wrap it up. There's so many different ways to wrap them as well. I actually have a really, really old blog post on this. I think it's from 2017. So ignore the blanket scarf throwback and the photo quality, but I'll link that post for you down below if you're looking for different ways to style a scarf this winter. When it comes to accessories, I think this is a really easy way that you can add in pops of color. So if you do like to bring in more color into your wardrobe, if you go with a colorful scarf option here, you can pair it with your neutral options, but it's not gonna break the bank, and you can kind of mix and match those colors depending on what you're going for that day. So that's my personal philosophy, I guess, on adding pops of colors. It's kind of like when you're buying a couch, you want those everyday basics to be neutral, but you can mix and change your pillows. Those are a lot more affordable than a couch would be. So depending on the season, you can change them up. And that's kind of how I do it in my wardrobe as well. So those basics like coats and jeans and sweaters, I would stick neutral and then add in some fun color with your accessories. The next must-have, this is really a year-long must-have, but a good handbag, of course, that you can wear day to day. But I did want to mention this because When it comes to handbags in the wintertime, you want to keep in mind the drop length of the shoulder. If you have a very fitted shoulder bag, it can be challenging if you're wearing a ton of layers, coats and sweaters and scarves. It can just be hard to get it on your shoulder. And I feel like that's one of my pet peeves personally when my bag is too short. So just wanted to give you a heads up there. Having a bag with a longer drop length or even crossbody style, as long as it's long enough, just keep in mind you're gonna have more layers in the wintertime. Another must-have in my wardrobe for the wintertime is really good quality warm socks, because when your feet are warm, overall your body is just gonna be much more comfortable and warm. So having good socks is key to being comfortable and warm throughout winter. For day-to-day and around the house, my personal favorite are cashmere socks. I'm wearing a pair now actually. They are just very warm. They definitely keep my toes toasty. They're also just ultra soft and luxurious feeling. So I love to wear these around the house with slippers or even just when I'm barefoot. But if you're looking for really good quality socks that are gonna keep your feet nice and warm, I would recommend Smart Wool socks. I have a couple different pairs. I also bought some new ones recently for skiing because they're a little bit taller. But I wore these in London and Paris, and in your boots, they will definitely keep your feet very comfortable. And that's something to keep in mind when it comes to picking out boots for the winter. You do want to have a little bit more room in boots. I tend to go with, I can be an 8.5 or a 9. I usually always go for a 9 in boots because you're gonna be wearing thicker socks. Sometimes it's nice to add an insole. So having a little bit of wiggle room in your boots is very important. Let me know if there are any winter must-haves in your wardrobe that I did not include in today's video. I'm sure we all have a different take on our must-haves, so let me know in the comments below. As always, everything will be linked in the description box below, and I will see you very soon in my next one. Bye!